Hey, horror fiends. Welcome back to American Nightmares, where we dig up the creepiest true tales from America's shadows. Tonight, we're in Chicago, 2019, for a love story that'll break your heart and maybe your soul. Ethan thought he found the perfect girl, but when she stopped breathing and kept talking, his dream romance turned into a living nightmare. Every kiss pulled him closer to a truth too monstrous to face. This ain't just a story. It's a modern horror romance that'll make you question who's holding your hand. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and drop your own creepy love stories in the comments. Let's fall into the nightmare. It was February 2019. And Ethan Caldwell, a 29-year-old bartender with a knack for mixing cocktails and breaking hearts, was living large in Chicago's Wicker Park. Ethan was a charmer, tall, messy brown hair, a crooked grin that raked in tips, and a heart still raw from a college breakup that made him swear off love. He worked at the Black Cat, a trendy speakeasy where neon signs buzzed and hipsters nursed overpriced old fashions. Chicago's winter was brutal that year. Snow piling up, Lake Michigan freezing at the edges, the wind cutting like a switchblade. Ethan didn't mind. The city's grit was his kind of vibe. One night, just past midnight, she walked in. Her name was Leela, mid-20s, pale as a winter moon, with jet black hair falling in waves and eyes like deep violet, practically glowing under the bar's dim lights. She wore a vintage red dress, tight enough to stop traffic, and a smile that hit Ethan like a double shot of bourbon. "Give me something strong," she said, her voice low, like velvet with a hint of smoke. Ethan whipped up a Boulevardier, heavy on the bourbon, and slid it over. "On the house, if you tell me your story," he grinned. Leela laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a storm, and said, "Careful, bartender, some stories bite." They talked till closing. Leela was a mystery, claimed she was a freelance artist, new to Chicago, staying at an Airbnb in Logan Square. She dodged questions about her past, but lit up talking about art, Gothic paintings, old cemeteries, the way shadows danced in moonlight. Ethan was hooked, his heart racing like he was 19 again. "Come back tomorrow," he said as she left, her red dress vanishing into the snow. She did. Night after night, Leela became a regular, sitting at the bar, sipping cocktails, her violet eyes locking on Ethan like he was the only guy in the room. By the third night, he asked her out. "Dinner, Saturday, my treat." Leela's smile was sharp. "Only if you're ready for me, Ethan." Their first date was at a cozy Italian joint in Little Italy. Candles flickering on checkered tablecloths, the smell of garlic and red wine filling the air. Lila was a knockout, her laugh pulling Ethan in deeper. She talked about Chicago's dark history, Prohibition-era speakeasies, gangland hits, unmarked graves under the city. "Ever heard of Resurrection Mary?" she asked, sipping wine the color of her dress. Ethan chuckled, knowing the legend, a ghostly girl hitchhiking on Archer Avenue, vanishing from cars. "You planning to ghost me?" he teased. Lila's eyes flickered, almost red in the candlelight. "Not yet," she said, her hand brushing his, cold as ice but sending sparks. Their second date was a late-night walk along the Chicago River, neon lights reflecting on the icy water, the city humming around them. Lila clung to his arm, her touch chilly but electric. They kissed under a street lamp, her lips soft but so cold Ethan shivered. "You're freezing," he said, draping his leather jacket over her. She smiled, pulling him closer. "You warm me up." By the third date, a rooftop bar in the Loop, skyline glittering like a promise, Ethan was falling hard. Lila whispered, "You're different, Ethan. You see me." He didn't notice her reflection in the bar's mirror was faint, like a photo bleached by time. They were inseparable after that. Lila's Airbnb was a sleek loft, black furniture, red curtains, but sterile, like a stage set. No photos, no books, just a single oil painting of a graveyard under a blood-red moon. Ethan ignored the weirdness, lost in her. Their nights were fire, kisses that left him dizzy, her cold hands roaming his skin, her voice purring his name. But strange things started piling up. Lila never ate, sipped wine or water, claiming she was not hungry. Her skin stayed cold no matter how warm the room. And sometimes in the dark, Ethan swore her eyes glowed red, like embers in a dying fire. By March, Ethan was head over heels, but doubts crept in like the Chicago wind. Lila never went out in daylight, always working or nursing a migraine. Her phone was always off, no social media, no friends he could meet. "I'm a loner," she'd say, smiling that sharp smile. One night, crashing at her loft, Ethan woke to her sitting up, staring at the wall, eyes glowing red in the dark. "Lila?" he whispered. She turned, her face normal again, but her voice was off, like it came from somewhere else. "Go back to sleep, love." He brushed it off, blaming the late shift, but his gut churned. At the bar, his buddy Marco, a fellow bartender, noticed Ethan's distraction. "You okay, man? You're looking rough." Ethan spilled about Lila, her coldness, the weird vibes. Marco frowned. "She sounds like trouble. You sure she's real?" Ethan laughed, but the question stuck. He started watching Lila closer. Her story shifted. One night she said she grew up in Chicago. Another she mentioned a small town in Indiana. Her art was never finished, just sketches of graves and shadows, all unsigned. And once, when Ethan cut his finger slicing limes at work, Lila stared at the blood, her eyes flashing red, lips parting like she was hungry. One night, after a steamy makeout session in her loft, Ethan caught her reflection in a cracked mirror. No, not a reflection. Her face was wrong, half bone, half flesh, eyes red and hollow. He blinked, and it was gone. "You okay?" Lila asked, her voice sweet but sharp. "Just tired," he lied, heart pounding. That night, he dreamed of a woman in a red dress, standing in a snowy cemetery, her face a skull, whispering, "You're mine, Ethan." He woke in a cold sweat, Lila beside him, not breathing. He shook her, panic rising. "Lila!" Her eyes snapped open, red for a split second, then violet. "Bad dream?" she purred, but her chest stayed still. No breath, no heartbeat. Ethan couldn't shake it. The next night, at the Black Cat, he Googled Resurrection Mary on his break. The legend was old, 1930s. A girl killed in a hit-and-run on Archer Avenue, her ghost hitchhiking, dancing with men, then vanishing. Some said she was buried in Resurrection Cemetery, her grave unmarked. Ethan's skin crawled, Lila's red dress, her cold touch, her talk of graves. "Nah, that's crazy," he muttered, but he started digging. He found a 1980s article. "Mystery woman spotted near Resurrection Cemetery, 1978. Red dress, vanishes after dance." A blurry photo showed a woman who could have been Lila, same hair, same pale skin. He confronted her at the loft. "Lila, who are you really?" She laughed, brushing it off. "Just a girl who likes you, Ethan." But her eyes flickered red, and the air turned heavy, like a storm was coming. "Stop lying," he pressed. "You don't eat, you don't breathe, and I saw your face in the mirror." Lila's smile faded, her face shifting, skin tightening, cheekbones sharp, eyes glowing red. "You weren't supposed to see," she hissed, her voice a chorus of whispers, like a dozen voices layered over hers. Ethan stumbled back, the loft freezing, the painting's moon glowing brighter, bleeding red light. He ran, heart hammering, but the door wouldn't budge. Lila glided closer, her form flickering like a bad signal, half woman, half skeleton. "I chose you, Ethan," she said, her hand touching his chest, cold burning through his shirt, leaving a mark like a claw. Visions hit him, not his, but hers. A snowy night, 1930s, a girl in a red dress dancing at a ballroom, laughing. A car crash on Archer Avenue, blood on the snow, her body broken but crawling, refusing to die. A voice from the dark, offering life for a price. "Serve me, and you'll walk again." She took it, her soul bound to something ancient, something hungry. Every decade she found a lover, fed on their warmth, their life, till they withered or joined her. Ethan saw them, Men from the 40s, 60s, 80s, their faces in the loft shadows, hollow-eyed, chanting, "Stay with us." Lila's voice echoed in his skull. "Your mind, Ethan, forever." The painting pulsed, the graveyard coming alive, hands breaking through the canvas, grabbing at him. He screamed, tearing the painting down, the frame splintering. Lila wailed, a sound like glass shattering, and the room shook, windows cracking, neon city lights outside flickering like a dying pulse. Ethan grabbed a knife from the kitchen, slashing at the air as Lila lunged, her form half flesh, half bone, eyes blazing red. "You can't leave me," she snarled, her touch burning his arm, leaving another claw mark. He remembered the legend, Resurrection Mary's grave, her anchor. If he could find it, maybe he could break her hold. He bolted for the door, which flew open, the Chicago wind howling through. Lila's laugh chased him as he ran to his car, tires screeching on icy streets toward Resurrection Cemetery. The cemetery was a maze of snow-covered graves, the gates locked but swinging open as he approached, like they were waiting. Ethan's flashlight flickered, catching a headstone with no name, just a carved rose, red paint dripping like blood. Lila appeared, her dress torn, face fully skeletal now, eyes red pools. "You can't end this," she hissed, the ground shaking, graves cracking open, skeletal hands grabbing his ankles. Ethan swung the knife, cutting through her form, which flickered but didn't fall. He remembered a story his grandma told. Holy ground could bind spirits. He found a vial of holy water in his glove box, a gift from her, and splashed it on the headstone. Lila screamed, her form burning, blue flames rising from the grave, consuming her. The hands retreated, the cemetery fallen silent. Ethan stumbled back to his car, calling 911 from a gas station. "Something attacked me at Resurrection Cemetery," he told the dispatcher, voice shaken. Cops arrived, found nothing. No headstone with a rose, no flames, just snow. "You been drinking?" they asked, noting his burned arm. Ethan showed him the claw marks. They called it self-inflicted, blaming stress. His buddy Marco checked the loft. Empty. No painting, no Lila. "You dodged a bullet, man," Marco said, but Ethan knew it wasn't human. He quit the Black Cat, moving to Milwaukee, taking a desk job. The claw marks never faded, itching when it snowed. Online forums buzzed with Lila's description. Sightings near Archer Avenue, a woman in red, vanishing after a dance. A 2019 Tribune article mentioned a ghostly figure at Resurrection Cemetery. No proof. "Ethan don't date anymore. She was perfect," he says, voice hollow, "but she wasn't human, and she's still out there, looking for her next love." Horror fiends, love just got deadly. This true American Nightmares tale of Ethan's romance with Lila, a girl who didn't breathe, whose red eyes hid a monstrous truth, proves some loves drag you to the grave. That final twist, Lila's still hunting on Archer Avenue, still got you shaking? Smash that like button and subscribe to American Nightmares for more true horrors. Got a creepy love story of your own? Spill it in the comments. We're dying to hear. Hit the bell to catch every scare, and share this video to spread the fright. Until the next shadow whispers your name, keep your heart locked and your courage closer. This is American Nightmares, fading into the dark. Stay haunted.